Do you think Tamara actually saved lives by getting these COVID mandates stopped?
Submissions, I said thousands, if not tens of thousands, but we received letters of support from hundreds of people. We've received messages. Tamara has received messages. So this was one of those rare cases where I was able to say to the judge, there were some very positive things that happened as a result of this, what was found to be an offense. And the positive is that there are a lot of people who were inspired by Tamara's example, a lot of people who were lifted up and given hope by what she did.
Are you satisfied with the verdict or the sentencing today, sir?
Yes, the main objective was to make sure she didn't spend one more day in jail, and that was achieved. And so yes, in that sense, we are still very seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief, but as far as the sentence goes, we're pleased that she is not going to be spending any more time in jail.
I think there's a double standard with how the truckers have been treated with jailing, prosecution, enormous resources, compared to the pro-Hamas protests that blocked streets in Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, and elsewhere. Is there a double standard on the streets?
I think that this case on its own demonstrates the conflict between freedom of expression and peaceful assembly, and as contrasted with some of the other protests that you're referring to, the pro-Palestinian protest, there's definitely a different way that those are being treated as opposed to the way that this peaceful assembly and freedom of expression was treated in this courtroom.
Lawrence, was a balance struck by the judge in this case in terms of freedom of expression, in terms of the right to protest?
No, there was none. And in Canada, constitutionally protected freedom of speech, which encourages peaceful assembly, must prevail over the rights of property owners, the enjoyment of property. It's not an equal balance, and that's the primary basis that we're considering for an appeal of conviction.
What do you think the post effects will be? I mean, even if you might be happy with the results as of now, what do you think this takes the feeling of free speech going forward? The process, of course, the pre-trial custody.
I'm concerned that going forward, individuals who advocate peaceful assembly, and that's all that Tamara did, was talk about peaceful assembly and encourage people to come to Ottawa to assemble peacefully and lawfully. That's all she did. And if that becomes, and at this point, it remains criminal, it's been found to be the offense of mischief. If that's allowed to stand, then I'm very concerned about the future of freedom of expression in this country.
Lawrence, you're appealing Ms. Lich's conviction?
We're seriously considering an appeal of the conviction for mischief.
What about the impact on the people of Ottawa? The judge also acknowledged significant impact here on residents of the city.
There was definitely, and that was something that we were prepared to admit right at the beginning of the trial, that there was an impact on the people and businesses in the core of the city of Ottawa. Freedom of expression and peaceful assembly do not come without some price. And in a contest between the two, peaceful assembly, freedom of expression that encourages that, should win every time, because nowhere in the Constitution are the property rights or the enjoyment of property to be found. Freedom of expression and peaceful assembly are fundamental freedoms that are supposed to be protected by the Charter.
Mr. Greenspon, were you surprised by the sentence today? The duration?
Given the range, absolute discharge to 7 years, there's really nothing that could surprise me. What surprised me was that in 45 years of doing this work, I've never been this far apart from the Crown in terms of a sentencing position. Yeah. The judge made comments about the Crown's sentencing position, and I'll leave you to that.
Has Ms. Lich ever expressed any type of remorse for her role in this, even though she did not advocate for violence, but it resulted in $65 million of relief costs?
You heard the portion of the letter that she wrote, and she recognized, as did Mr. Barber, that there were many people in the downtown core and businesses that were affected by the Freedom Convoy. She doesn't deny that. The question of was there remorse for what she did? No. She pled not guilty. She's been found guilty of mischief, we're seriously looking at appealing that finding.
Do you think Tamara actually saved lives by getting these COVID mandates stopped?
She may have.
Certainly helped.
She may have saved lives by her advocacy. She may have. One thing we know is that there were many people that were inspired by her example, by what she said and how she did it. There were lives that were changed as a result of her standing up on behalf of many thousands of Canadians, perhaps even tens of thousands of Canadians. So were lives saved? I don't know, but it may well have been.
Absolutely.